About 4 months ago, I started work on a game inspired by flash games of my youth and have kept pretty consistent working on it each month. I wanted to start to document the process and progress to keep the ball rolling and share what I'm doing with more people. I'm doing this alongside a good friend of mine who is making her own game. Each Sunday, we get together and talk about what we would like to accomplish on our respective games in the next week, as well as share progress from our task of the previous week. It's helped each of us stay motivated to continue making progress, as well as share ideas and excitement around our games. I knew I wanted to make a cozy pixel art baking game. Two of my biggest inspirations for this game are Mama's Diner and Little Alchemy. In Mama's Diner, you play as both the waitress and chef in a little diner serving an endless stream of patrons each day. The color palette is nostalgic, the gameplay is straightforward, and I eat up games that are task-focused. Little Alchemy is a browser game where you combine basic elements to discover new items. The combinations feel pretty endless, and it was always a game I would revisit. Clearly, I'm not the only one who felt like the game should go on forever, because there is a Little Alchemy 2 out now. With these two inspirations in mind, I set out to work on From Scratch, a baking game where you combine ingredients to make goodies for your customers and fulfill orders demanding you discover new recipes to keep everyone satisfied. I see the game expanding beyond this concept, but this seems like a decent place to start. The first month, I had to conquer my biggest fear about making a game: the art. I work as a full-time developer, so I'm pretty comfortable with programming, debugging, and testing, but art? That's pretty scary. I decided to start out with a character inspired by the dithering used in old games. I went a little crazy on it and, well, hated it. No problem, I'll just delete that whole file and start on a new one. And I got here. Love it. I spent a full Saturday afternoon animating the idol and pretty much deleted the memory of animating the walk from my brain. I also spent time making a tile set, some kitchen counters, basic item sprites, working on a concept for mixing ingredients, and creating a recipe book. A pretty productive month. The second month, I worked on making the title screen under the title Momo's Cafe, my working title at the time, which was meant to be a direct callback to Mama's Diner. Obviously, I've since changed this since I don't want to pigeonhole the player into running Momo's anything, and it's not a cafe. In addition to the title screen, I added a save and load game feature, fixed the small counters from month 1, and improved on my rough recipe book concept, as well as adding a table of contents. I also made it so when you discovered a new recipe, they were dynamically added to the book. Month 3 came with the introduction of a basic HUD and hotbar. Most notably, I worked on the inventory drag and drop, which introduced the appearance of my first major bug, dubbed the infinite milk glitch. If I put milk in my hands and dragged the item from my hotbar to the backpack, the item wouldn't leave my hands. I could then drop it, drag the copy in my backpack back to my hotbar, then infinitely drop that copy for unlimited milk. This could be repeated with any item, but I first discovered it when moving around a container of milk, so infinite milk glitch. I'd get to fixing this later though. I also started playing around with different cursors as well as the concept of a packing station to pack customer orders for special orders or something like that. In month 4, I cleaned up the HUD as well as did some light redesigning on the inventory to fit with a new concept for mixing ingredients. I found switching to ingredients one at a time and interacting with the mixer to put them in to be rather tedious, so I created a drag and drop inventory for the mixer instead. I also added a display case for selling products. Perhaps most important to me, I fixed the infinite milk glitch. This summed up the progress made in month 4 and takes us to current day. So, what's next? Well, I started out working on things a little bit all over the place. I have a ton of ideas for features and content I'd like to add, and really went full force at doing everything all at once. Ultimately, that isn't going to get me a completed game. I've got to narrow my scope, complete a main game loop, and add from there. Mostly, I've got to sell stuff to customers. So, see you next month? Okay, bye!